Shooting the Shit episode 208, and we've got a guest on, and we're going to talk about D&D. I think that's the plan, tabletop games and D&D and stuff. So, wee bit different to what we usually do. But this is unvarnished show, sort of, because she set this up, and I didn't know anything about this. Didn't tweet
Yes,
me.
you did. I told
Didn't say.
you.
Didn't tell me what. I've been busy doing stuff today.
Okay, but I did say it in the DM.
Was it today?
Well, no, not today. It was the other day.
I've missed it. Yeah, I do stuff. You've got to let me know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get questions from the chat and stuff about D&D, and they're going to reminisce, because this is.
I got DM'd. I got DM'd a couple of questions because he can't be. He's working right now, so he forwarded his questions to me.
Okay, that's fair enough. We'll do that, and this is you can explain more about it than me. So I've introduced the show. I've done my job, so I'll just sit back and listen. And if I've got any questions, I'll jump in. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Do that then.
Okay, Brandon.
Yo.
The first thing he says. Okay. He says. So this is. I'm just reading it exactly as he said it. He said, well, first and foremost, what are his thoughts on Rule 0, which is described as either the game has rules or alternatively that the group enjoyment trumps the rules, and his approach to handling gray areas in the rules during play.
Wow, that's a lot. What is my approach towards Rule 0?
Yeah.
That is... Wow, there's like a jet engine outside of my...
I actually have another question right there. Can anyone tell me what the hell that is? Because I have no idea, and I'm guessing any listeners that are like me don't know what you're talking about, so you're maybe going to have to explain what any of that means.
Tell us what Rule 0 is.
Well, base Rule 0 is kind of like the DM has final say in whatever the thing is going on. No, so it doesn't matter what the players want.
Right. So basically, your dungeon master or your game master, depending on whatever game you're playing, it'll basically say in the first couple of pages, your DM or your dungeon master, your game master is the rules arbiter. Whatever he says or she says goes. What my take is on that is everybody's got a voice. Everybody should be able to have their own opinion of what goes in the game. Now, granted, the dungeon master will always have the final say because, I mean, they're the person that portrays the world you're playing in. They're the person that voices all of the NPCs, makes all the encounters, doles out all the experience, the items, everything else. If that one particular rule that you're discussing doesn't make any sense in the game that you're playing, then that rule's arbiter would have to, get the opinions of everybody else and then make the decision based on what's best for the group. That's what I generally do in my games. It's what I've always done. Never had a problem.
Oh, I see what you mean. You mean it's like it's an open sort of rule, and so the DM could change something because it fits what he's building as the story.
Right.
Yeah, I've got you.
Like one of the things that I have going on at my table. Last week we had a big discussion. We're playing an amalgam of Pathfinder 3.5 and Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Kind of mixed them together, which, believe me, I don't have enough time today to tell you exactly how we did that. But one of the biggest things that we have is we have two extremely high-level wizards going at it, and we had a counterspell discussion. So, well, if somebody casts a high-level fire spell and somebody else casts a high-level ice spell and they clash, wouldn't that cancel out? No, it wouldn't. I mean, you start to look at the rules, and it's like, well, in certain games it will cancel out. In other games, it won't cancel out. In my game, well, you can have an explosion whenever heat meets flame, or whenever heat meets cold. There's always going to be an explosion if they're of a level. So you're going to have magical power stopping right there, and then we stopped and went off the rails and talked about the possibilities of what happened for 25 minutes. Nothing's going to happen in real life because magic is fake. So, as the dungeon master, I had to basically be the arbiter and say, okay, final answer, here's what happens, and that's as an elongated answer, I guess that's my take on Rule Zero.
Right.
You gotta be that guy that ends the discussion.
Right. So okay, if I'm getting this straight, so you could have that scenario you've just said. You could have, say, the two mages cast the same thing, cast two fireballs at the same time. They both hit each other. You could either have a big massive fireball happen, or you could have them just cancel each other out.
Right. And you're gonna have people in both camps, and you're gonna inevitably. I mean, depending on how passionate your players are, it could really blossom into one heck of a debate or even an argument. So your dungeon master has to be there to sift through all of the opinions and do what's right for the game.
Right, and that's what the Rule Zero is. Right. Okay.
Basically, right. in a gigantic nutshell.
Yeah. Oh no, I get that. I get that it's not like everything's not just that basic, obviously, but it explains what the.
A lot of times, if you let your players, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody out there by this, but if you let one player constantly get away with rule bending and rule breaking, eventually it turns into favoritism, and your DM has to be able to look at everybody with no favoritism and be non-biased about the rules. So some rules, they all make sense, but not all of them can be used in a game, because if you're constantly being that rules lawyer and min-maxing everything, you lose a lot of entertainment value.
Right. I understand. I've been in a game, not quite like that, but it was getting that way. So yeah. So I understand what you're talking about. That's good. That's good though, because that explains it to me, and I think it explains it to the audience what Rule Zero is. Right. So.
Do my best.
Right, that's good.
Yes, I think that was really good, and I think that answered his question, because he played tabletop role playing, and I was talking to him a lot about our game that we played, and it was vastly different experience than what he experienced, and I came to the conclusion that my experience was way better, and that things that he experienced I would have walked away from.
Yeah.
Like, I think he said that they told you, when he first started playing, that his first character or whatever is that the DM said that he was just going to kill his character. And he said that they did that because they didn't want people to get attached to a character. And I was like, well, if somebody went at me like that and just killed my character for no reason to kill them, because he said that the DM didn't give him a chance to save his character. That at the end of the game, he killed him.
Oh,
and
man.
I was like, I wouldn't want to play again. That's not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if I died on the first game through my own fault, that's different. But I would have still had a good time. If I'm just killed just because, I would not have.
Right. Yeah, that's the old adage of inescapable death, and it's something I never use as a dungeon master. It's out there. And there's a lot of times where dungeons masters will really cling to that for that one reason. They don't want players getting too attached to their characters, because it can cause issues, but it's just not fun. You should never kill a character just because. Ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't find that fun. And I felt our emotions to our characters and the other characters around the table, that our characters, if our character cared about another character, because people, to me, really got into characters.
Oh, yeah.
And then their characters really cared about those characters, and it was really immersive. And so that when something happened, it was grand and epic when it happened. Like I was telling him, when my character died, people around the table cried. Because it was grand and it was epic. And of course I was sad, but it's not like I was I was like sad that she's dead, but I was actually like happy too, because of how she died and how it affected everybody. So that kind of made me happy. That it made me think that I did a good job portraying my character, and that my GM did a great job setting this the world up, and setting our characters up as well.
Yeah, it's always one of my goals, actually. I've had some really hard individuals sit down to play role playing games with me, and I will look them in the eyes and I will say, I will make you cry. At some point during this game, you will cry. And I have always been successful.
Yeah, it was a really good game, and it kind of like it made me think that I did a good job with my character, because I remember Ashley. Do you remember Ashley?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and her character died. Nobody gave a crap.
Yeah, nobody cared.
Nobody cared. Of course, I didn't like her as a person, anyways. But she didn't play in my group really, so my character didn't get attached to her character or anything like that. But her group didn't really even seem to care.
Yeah.
And I think it was the way that she played, because even though she wasn't in my group, when we had the big session, I got to see the way that she played.
Yeah.
And so I think that had something to do with it.
Well, right from the get-go, I knew there was going to be some issues, because when I asked her what her character's name was, she said no name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Then she's like, okay, well, if it can't be that, it'll be Noname. And I'm like, oh, all right, okay, here we go. This is going to be interesting. But we ran with it for the longest time, and the thing is she wasn't a strong role player, but she did get into the game in other ways. Like, she was kind of okay in combat, and she liked listening to other people role play, which is great. There are people like that out there. You should always be very upfront with the folks you're going to play with, and with your dungeon or game master, about how you play games. If you're not sure, sit back and watch a few sessions first, because it is a little rough to break into a game with folks that have been playing for decades.
Yes. But it's fine though, because when they tell you what they're going to do, like when I first done it, these people have been playing it for a while, and they just invited me. They were like, "Look, you've never played it? Okay, we'll set up Roll20 at one point, and we'll have a game." And it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because
Roll20, I don't do a lot of Roll20. I mean, I'm on there every once in a while. I have a fellow dungeon master that runs exclusively on Roll20, and he's got dozens of campaigns. He's playing every single day, 3-4 hours a day. 3 or 4 hours a campaign, 4 to 8 hours a day. So it's pretty crazy. He's basically made a career out of it.
Our
I didn't
campaign
find
was
another group. I set after our group, I set in on. It was at like the game shop or whatever, card shop, game shop. Somebody took me because I expressed interest in playing a tabletop role playing, and then they took me there, and I sat in on a couple of games. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Pathfinder. It wasn't D&D. I can't remember what it was. But I was like, okay, that still sounds interesting to play. And then I sat in on a couple of games, and I was like, I don't think this would be the group for me.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even close to what you were doing.
It's very rare to find a game like I run. Really super rare. A lot of times, Wizards of the Coast actually took Dungeons and Dragons into a more encounters-based game now. They move a lot of miniatures. They had that big game, D&D miniatures out there, and then they tried to model a whole new version around the game. Like, if you go to your local brick and mortar now, you don't really find a lot of just your core rule books. It is awash with different splats or different stories. So you play through like a level 1 to level 10 or level 1 to level 15, and then you're done. You don't keep that character anymore. It doesn't ever keep going. It's almost as if it stops after that splat or after that story is done, and then you start all over again. Whereas my games, my gosh, you'll play 2, 3, 4, 5, years with the same character. Like I just wrapped a game that we had 36 players, spanned across 4 groups, went through 6 super sessions, and it took us 5 years to play. And we would have kept going, but man, it was getting a little too big, and they all splintered out in their own D&D groups. So, so yeah, it's really rare to find a story-based game like that. A lot of folks want to play those encounter-based games and go up levels.
I like the story. I like the story a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I would have to, if I played again, I would have to have that again. I was joking with my boyfriend because I told him that like I found you, and I was joking with him. I was like, maybe we should just move back to Illinois just so I can play.
There you go. We're actually we started up. We're in a high level campaign now. I actually have a game going tonight. I got 7 guys coming over here tonight, and we're looking to start up our second group. We've already got another 8 people interested, but I'm telling them, take it a little slow. We don't really want to blow up again, like we did. We got so big before we opened up our own brick and mortar called Unlimited RPG, and then we had a slew of podcasts and all that other stuff. It grew quickly.
I don't know if you uploaded any of your podcasts, but I could not find them. I found that you did a podcast, but I couldn't find any uploads to listen to because I kind of wanted to listen to them.
Yeah,
and I only found a couple old podcasts that were back when I played with you and John.
Those got uploaded to the Internet Archive, believe it or not.
That's probably that's like how I found them.
Yep.
But I couldn't find any of your other podcasts because I was kind of wanting to see what you were up to,
What I was up to. Yeah. No, we had a lot of podcasts. I revamped the State of the Game.
Okay.
And then I had where we.
Hang on, guys. I've got another guy that does. He DM'd a couple of games that I was in from the tabletop. He knows a lot. He's a DM as well. So I thought I would hit him up, and he said he would jump in. So I'm gonna just drag him in, and you can all nerd out on the tabletop stuff, if that's okay.
Hop them in, and I'll go on question.
There we
go.
go.
The next question. Maybe they both can kind of give their take on it.
They're both DMs, so welcome to the show.
Yeah.
It's live on the radio show. Night. I'll just call you Night because it's Heart Night.
Good evening.
Hello,
hi, and welcome. So they're talking about DMing in tabletop games.
Yes.
I love how you say that, man.
Well, I mostly just do D&D. I've not been kept up with the conversation, so
That's okay. We can move on to this next viewer question, and then you can answer, and Brandon can answer too.
Okay, not a problem.
He says, I would be interested in hearing his thoughts on loner characters. That is, characters who aren't attached to the group and require some outside motivation to make them cooperate with the group. So how do each of you kind of handle that in a different way?
First on that one?
It depends by determining outside. I mean, in terms of sort of separate from the group, you can have his own sort of side story as to why they're with. I mean, it depends what they want to do with the story. If they want to sort of idea to betray the party at some point, it's actually being a villain, passing notes between the DM sort of outside the session or even just under the table, so to speak, would be a great way to motivate them to join in. That's one, and as I say, it all depends on what they want to do with the character.
Okay,
Yeah,
Brandon.
I would kind of agree with that, but I would also go as far as to say whenever you have somebody that wants to spotlight out on their own and not really be a part of a group, it's how you deal with that is all going to be in the experience of the dungeon master or the game master. Like say for instance, I have in our game right now, I have one of these players, and he's always wanting to spotlight and do his own thing, and he's playing a rogue right now. So the main storyline he's not really interested in. He wants to do his own thing, start his own, rogues gallery. He wants to, steal things, rob things at night, which is great. Every one person has what they do, but getting them to do, to play with the group and do the main storyline. As a dungeon master, you just need to look in what the motivation of the character is, and put that into your main storyline so they do get motivated. Um, Broaden your horizons as a dungeon master. That's the most important thing. Don't have tunnel vision. Have wide open like sandbox vision. That way, every single player at your table is motivated to do something at some point with the rest of the group. Now, it could be literally one of a million things. You just have to prep it right, and then you should be good. Tristan, or not? Sorry.
Ah,
I completely
you
agree.
can call me Narwhal.
Narwhal.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, I know you saw that with the game that we played in together.
I think I remember that there was, and
hang on,
it was,
hang on,
I
hang
mean,
on,
if
hang
I
on,
remember
hang on.
right, it was your wife at the time. Her
Wait.
character.
Hang
No,
on.
she's your ex-wife now.
Hang
It was maybe
Stop.
her character. What?
Stop. Lord Knight, could you turn your mic down a bit or move away from the speakers or put headphones on because we're getting an echo from you?
I'm actually I can actually use this good as with my headset, so try and move my mic away or
Yeah.
can turn it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just sometimes when it peaks, it comes through.
Is that better?
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
Okay, so anyways, what I was saying, wasn't it like your ex-wife character that kind of wanted to do a loner thing at first?
Yeah, she was. She played a wizard, and she was completely disconnected from the group. And for a while there was just absolutely nothing that she really wanted to do. She wanted to be at the table, but storyline wise, she just was not clicking on anything. So what I did is I gave a couple of the other members in the group a storyline to attach to her. That way, she really had no choice.
Yeah, I remember her kind of getting like, her character getting kind of shoved into a moment with us.
Yep. But it has to be done as a dungeon master. You have to do that kind of thing in such a way where it looks like as if you're not picking on a particular person.
I would say it went.
At the time, that was rough.
I would say it went smoothly in game. Like it made sense in game when it happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So-
Lord.
Just briefly interrupt. Are you still getting a problem with my mic?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Wait.
Right. What I'm going to
Oh,
try
yeah,
to do
that's a little
is
bit.
go to push to talk then.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
you get that.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be
work.
excellent.
Yeah.
That'll fix it.
Oh, actually.
All right, so I'll move on to the next question. This is the third and last one that has to do with tabletop role playing. He said, "Oh, ask him his opinion on skinning," and he went on to explain what skinning was. Skinning is taking established semantics and changing them to suit a new theme. For example, you might skin a greatsword as a flameberg or a scimitar as a saber. You might change a tiger animal companion into a panther or a puma.
So I'm taking this to mean like basically taking a stat block of one item and making it another.
I think so. Well, like maybe changing, because again, when he said like changing a tiger animal companion into a panther, so I guess like if the character likes a certain type of weapon or a certain animal, and it's still like a big cat, maybe letting them do that.
Yeah, no, there's really okay. Again, that goes to your dungeon master. I get this 2 or 3 times a week, honestly, in all of the games that I run or that I'm a part of. A template or a stat block is exactly that. It's just temporary. Nothing is permanent. If you want a dagger to do a D6 damage, okay, it does a D6 damage. It's really not that big of a problem. Just talk to your dungeon master about it. Say, for instance, a couple weeks back, I had a guy that got a cloak of elven kind, but he didn't want it to be green. All right, so we'll figure it another way in game to make it red or whatever color you want. Skinning is, and that's the first time I've actually called it skinning. I'll probably keep that. I like that term. But yeah, there's absolutely no problem with that at all. Now, you can't really call an iPhone a droid. You can't do that. But in a role playing game, why not? I mean, it's exactly that. We're here to have fun. Now, as long as it's not game breaking, I don't feel that there's a problem with it. You know what I mean?
I don't quite.
You're not gonna do a two-handed sword at 3d20 damage. That's not how that works. But if you want it to look like something else, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
I think the easiest way to make the comparison would be for a simple sake of take a video game, for example, skin mod. Basically, just change the appearance of one to the other. So
Yeah.
it pretty much does something similar. There's absolutely no problem. The only other thing I might see, the only issue it might do is if it breaks immersion somehow.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
For example, you decide to say an elephant, but can we make it a big cat? Wait. No, it don't really fit, but just somewhat similar.
Yeah, like hey, here's my horse. It looks like a dragon. No, it doesn't. It should always be. You should always err on the side of real. That's the way I look at it, or fantasy. But nobody's going to be having an ancient red dragon for a horse mount. That doesn't exist. That's not a thing.
Unless, of course, they decide to mess around with a wonderful spell, Wish, or then go there. But I like to mess with Wish, which I always take the leaf out the book, not the book, the movie Wishmaster. So yeah, they want him out for a red dragon, yeah, sure, but chucks him off for the first minute and then eats him.
Didn't you do a wish? Didn't John get a wish for his character Constantine?
Yes, he did.
I remember that happening. I just can't remember what it was.
He nearly unmade the world.
Oh,
I told him, I said, you cast this. Yeah, we're not doing it like it is in the book because that's crazy train. You better write it down because I'm going to take advantage of whatever you write down. And boy, did I.
Yeah, I can't remember what he wished for, but I do remember him handing you, it looked like a very long written down wish.
Yeah, it was like 3 pages. Just to get what he wanted to get. He almost unmade the world.
Hang on. I'm confused. Right, so 3 pages, like 3 A4 pages, or 3 notepad pages, or like how?
3 8x11 lined college rule. 3 pages.
That means nothing to me. I'm like, I don't know. Is that an A4 page paper or like a notepad page?
If you were wishing for something from a genie, and you have to be careful what you wish for. So
right, obviously.
Down, like, say for instance, like you get a wish from a genie. Say, oh, I want $1 million. All right. Fortunately, it came from the local bank, and they know you have it.
Right. Like, I don't know. So he wrote down a load of rules about the wish. Well, he wrote down everything about the wish, so this can't happen because he didn't wish for that. Yeah. I'm totally wishing for this, and he specifically wrote it so there was no flaw in the actual wish. Is that what you say? Yeah.
Lawyers were involved.
He tried.
Yeah.
He tried. He failed, but he did try.
Right. So okay, I understand why there's like 3 pages worth then. Okay, fair enough.
The more you write down, the more content find a hole.
Yeah. Although you can just be really annoying and say, "I'm sorry, the wish does not come true," because that's to be made within 1 or 2 sentences.
Right.
Because then it just really puts everyone off from ever going anywhere near wishes.
Right, don't go near a wish.
It can be really game breaking.
I've got a high level wizard in my game right now that all he wants is for his next spell to go off without a hitch, or have the wish work, or have the next spell he casts max damage. It's always in game. It's never anything creative. But at the same time, it's never anything creative. It's nothing I can destroy. So
right, as long as it's not creative enough.
There's always a way it can be really creative.
Oh yeah.
Right, so we've been going for half an hour on YouTube, so I'm going to end the YouTube segment. But if you go to aerithradio.co.uk and you click the play button, you'll get the rest of the show. And you'll get the rest of the show on Tuesday. It'll go up on the website on Tuesday, so you can stream it whenever you want, or download it, or just do whatever you want with it. If you're a patron, it's only £1, and you get the show as soon as it's uploaded tonight. If you don't, then you have to wait till Tuesday or whenever I remember to upload it on the website. But the show's still free. It's still free, but the Patreon one goes out tonight. The one that goes on the website, it'll be like whenever I can remember. Sometimes I forget for a week. It's embarrassing, I know, but most of the time I do remember, but it's fine. Patreon goes free anyway, so if you go to Patreon after 3 days, it's free anyway, so yeah, there's that too. Anyway, so if you all want to say goodbye to YouTube, and
Hi,
Hi, YouTube.
Letters.
and then we can all start swearing and stuff, because there's no rules now, basically.